Hello there and welcome back to linuxjobber.com where we prepare you for Linux jobs. My own name is Showunmi Joseph and my email is showpopulous@gmail.com. Showpopulous@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me and I'll be sure to help you out. Now let's go to today's video. Today's video we'll be looking at Puppet in a large environment. So the first thing I did was that I went to our website here at linuxjobber.com, moused over tutorials, and I went down to Puppet training, where we would be looking at Puppet in a large environment. So here's where I was before, Puppet in a large environment. If you have not watched the video on what Puppet is, why we pick Puppet, how it works, and its configuration, step-by-step configuration, you need to first of all go and click on here, the number 2, and go into these videos and watch all those videos of everything step by step. First, the first video describes everything in general. Then the next set of videos will describes step-by-step configuration where we do the actual tutorial. Then we talked about using Puppet, we talked about the language and everything. But for today, we'll be looking at Puppet in a large environment. We have already talked about using Puppet, practical application is in a small environment. We did the configuration in previous videos, and you can see all those videos in here. By the way, you can click inside this tool and look at all those videos, not the one but the two. It will give you all those videos. We talk about the convention, the syntax, the scripting of Puppet, and then we talked about grouping things together in a large environment, and then practical application in a large environment. For today, we're simply focusing on the large environment, the overview of Puppet in a large environment. Let me go ahead and show you what we did in previous videos. So in the previous videos, if you remember very well, we only used 3 machines, right? So we said, okay, you can make your life easier simply by configuring the Puppet Master and let the puppets manage themselves. If you have not watched that video, go and watch it. So now, these are only 3 different machines, right? Imagine if you have 1,000 machines and you want to manage all of them. It's easier if you group them. So I'll use our example of bowling, ABC Bowling Club, to continue to explain this. Now, for everybody that comes into the bowling club, you want to group them. Here is only 3. In the previous video, it was only 3 machines, so I didn't have to worry about grouping. But imagine if I have a whole bunch of machines, right? I don't want to log into every single machine to configure every single machine. So that's why I'm using Puppet Master and let everything else be controlled as puppets, and they will control themselves. Now, one crucial thing you have to remember here is that when we're using Puppet in a large environment, you want to keep in mind that you're not trying to group the machines. Instead, you're trying to group the instead of trying to group the machines, you're actually trying to group the configuration, meaning what these people have in common. Now, let me go back to, for the benefit of those who haven't seen the previous videos, if you look at our bowling club here, the way I explained it is that for every customer that comes in, there's a members list. On that members list is a person's name and their shoe size. So on this shoe rack here, there are a whole bunch of shoe sizes. So there are a whole bunch of shoe sizes. Now, when we will use those shoe sizes to configure Puppet, not the members. Again, try to understand it. It's very important to understand the difference. There's a right way of using Puppet and there's a not so right way of using Puppet. Because if you configure, you can configure actually using the customers, but if you do that, you will not you will run into many problems later on. So what you want to do is to actually use the shoe sizes to configure. So now let's look at this again. What I mean here is that instead of using the machine names to configure, instead you will use a property of the machines to a property of the machine to configure. So let's say, for instance, you want to use machine types. Let's say you want to use machine functions. So you're not using something like departments, which every machine in a department is just a machine. It's grouped already. You don't want to use that. What you want to use is some property of that machine. Let's say, for instance, let's say, for instance, the type of machine, the operating system of the machine, the usernames that are on the machines, things like that. So in the case, so using our ABC bowling club as an example, let's look at males. We have a group called males, right? You have um, shoe sizes of size 17, shoe sizes for males, shoe sizes for 17, size 17, shoe sizes for size 13, shoes for females, wide feet, all kinds of different types of shoes. Remember, we're using shoes now, the qualities of the shoes. So now, if you look at under here, you see computer A is under males. Computer A is also has a quality of size 17. And then computer A, okay, I guess that's just the two for computer A. Let's look at computer C. Computer C has the shoe size of male, the shoe type of male. And then if you look here, it's size 13 and it's wide feet. So for each machine, you can be a part of this group here, this group here, this group here, this group here, however many groups that you fit into. So you don't just bundle machines together. No, you're not bundling machines. You are bundling the qualities or properties of those machines. I hope you understand that. If you are still having problems understanding that, send me an email and I will try to explain that part separately to you. So now that we understand that that is how you group the machines, we can then go into understanding the step-by-step details of how to configure these machines, meaning the technical part of it. This is just the overview explaining everything. Now, the step-by-step, I'll show you how to get there in a second. First of all, so we don't call these groupings in Puppet. It's called modules. So we keep them in modules. These are all, let me put it up here. So these are all modules now. We call this modules. So remember now, when you're using Puppet in a large environment and you start building your modules, um, build your modules based on the properties um, the properties of your machines, not just bundle machines together based on names or bundle machines together based on um, department, but what is inside of those machines is what you use to group machines, and in those groupings we call them modules. And in if we were to label this now, this would be module males, module 17, module females, module 13, module wide feet. And a computer A can pull configuration from or be part of module males and also be part of module 17. And a computer C can be part of module males, also be part of module C, and also be part of module wide feet. So meaning that they're pulling configuration from those three places to make themselves get configured correctly. I hope you understand what I have talked about today, and I will show you how to get into the details. So what I just showed you is the overview. If you want to see the technical configuration where we do the step by step of everything, come in here, click the number 2. You see the step by step of how we group them, how we create the modules. And then if you click on here, you will see how we apply them in a practical environment. This will help us use classes and templates. This will help us build modules. Those videos are in there, and I hope you understand them. Again, if you are having any questions with all these videos, send me an email so that I can respond to you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Again, as I said before, my own name is Showunmi Joseph, and my email is showpopulous@gmail.com. This is Linux Jobber. We prepare you for Linux jobs. So if you have any questions, send me an email. Thank you very much and have a nice day.